Okay, and we are live. Okay, folks. Well, welcome everybody to another edition of Phoenix on the South End. This is so exciting. This is like being at the South End of France, where we could kick back and meet people that come every week. And we have an incredible line today. We're getting close to doing another meeting with our midday, which is happening at 1 o'clock. It's a new group that we started last week. And so if you have a business, the month of August, you can come in free and basically just network with like-minded people that just like you. And it gives you an idea of what Phoenix is all about, where it's that kind of thing that actually ends up creating sales. First, you meet somebody, you create that trust, you get them to like you, and then you're almost like a friend. Well, you should be like a friend, but in that way, it's always a friend that can refer another friend. Oftentimes, when I refer people, and I don't do it that often, but I did it again about last week, just because I thought somebody would be able to benefit from this one person. And I didn't know that person that much, but I know they needed the service. And ended up that when I contacted my client and see how they liked them, it was really a turnoff. They didn't really know what they wanted and or what they were going to do to the job. So I said, you see, this is one of the things that why it's always good to know somebody and what they do and their work ethic. Like, Norm Boye, he's our handyman of this group. I know his work ethic is very high. He won't leave a job, even if I don't see anything. If he sees something, he'll stay until his quality standard is satisfied. And that's the kind of guy we need for many different professions. So it's a work ethic that we're looking for. So these are things that will come up when we know a person to a point that, we can really do it that way. So we're going to just get a quick peek at and a status of how Phoenix is doing. Here is our website. It's pbex.ca, and this is our hub where everything starts. Member of the week is our new member, Stephine Hennessy. She is taking care of our admin, and she's also an event planner, and she takes care of many things that way to bring in more customers for you, get people to be more aware, and make your business a little easier if you don't have time to do so many things. We just brought her on because there was so many things that weren't getting done. I just didn't have time to do some things. And so sometimes a little bit of help is so much better than hiring up an employee part-time, because there's all other things that come with that. And this way someone can just come in for, a few hours a week just to be able to take care of some stuff that you don't have the time to do. All right. So these are our 4 and 5 new one of the new ones are the midday ones, but the Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday group, if you're coming into that group, we're on Thursday morning in Canada, Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock. And all of the red buttons have the Zoom embedded inside the button, so you don't have to remember it. If you ever do get lost or get a new computer, then you just come onto this site and everything is here so you can connect to a meeting. The Thursday afternoon one, that's happening at 1 p.m., and it has the same Zoom number, all right, in there. So hopefully we'll see you later on today. September the 2nd is our after hours group. And what that does is it's more of a mastermind, but it's a great networking. And if you want to bounce some ideas off of people that have maybe have done some of the things that you want to do. Penny Lee heads that group up, and it's in the evening once a month at 7 p.m. So this one is at September the 2nd, and that's right in that area where we really want to dive in deep in far as getting more to your business. If you have a problem, you just say, well, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an app. This is where Bernie is very adept at that. He does his business to business podcast, and knack for business, and he has so many guests. He would know somebody that would be able to do some of the things that you're wanting, whether it's AI or whether it's anything else. So these are some of the things that we do in those groups. Also, with Bernie, he has the East Trade Winds Global Networking, which happens every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a Facebook Live meditation that I do every Friday at 1:30. And this week, we're going to be talking about darkness turning into light and how that works. It's more of positive thinking, but it's also how to be able to change that energy very, very quickly. We're going to be talking about that. Sound bathing, we have our August the 27th. That's at 7 p.m. It's a 2-hour program. You should check into it if you're looking. We have some space here in the actual space here in my studio, and I also have it on Zoom at the same time. The Phoenix Charity Golf, that's happening on September the 4th. If you want to register, there's the button to do so. And this way, it'll give you an idea that if you want to help some of the charities in our area, that's where all the proceeds are going. Mike Volotsky and the Canada Food Cupboard have sort of joined their forces together to be able to help that very worthwhile cause here in Canada. So it's been great. Penny Lee's her dancing and classes and so on. She also heads up a potluck that's happening tomorrow night at 6 p.m. That's an in-person arrangement where you can come in, just bring food. The South End is happening on that's another meeting that's happening, I believe, in a couple of weeks, where we're meeting in person at the River Lounge. Okay, that's at 7:30. Then we're done by 8:30 or so, and then we can get on with our day after. But it's a nice way to be able to connect people that way in person. All right. And if you know somebody that's want more information about Phoenix, here's our QR code. There's our link. If they want to apply, they can simply do so online. All right. So far, we've raised over 51,000 in funds for local charities over the years, and the Canada Food Cupboard is going to be adding to that. We're going to be adding that number and that amount to the efforts that we're doing locally. So we're doing our very, very best to be able to do that corporate responsibility, as Mike would say, and have that really a thing. Okay. And okay, so just before we head into our introductions, we have Norm Boyer that would love to be able to share some of his tips and knowledge about some of the things in life. Go ahead, Norm.
I'm just going to read you something that I have on my bulletin board, a couple of sayings.
Yep.
The grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. Fences have nothing to do with it. The grass is greenest where it is watered. When crossing over fences, carry water with you and tend the grass wherever you may be. That's why Robert Fulghum, an American writer, minister, and a working cowboy. So it says, it isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. And another one that I have, it's in the doing, not just in the thinking, that we accomplish our goals. So those two things to reflect on.
That is so true. If someone's just thinking about being pregnant, it's probably not enough. Very good. Thanks a lot, Norm. Okay, let's get right into our introductions. So when we are doing our infos there today, see what kind of problems that you solve. In other words, that's why people really come to you essentially anyway. They have an issue, they have a problem, they have something that needs to get fixed, needs to get organized, needs to get arranged. And so what is that for you that you will solve that problem for others? So that'll give us an opportunity to if we know somebody that is wanting that problem solved, to refer to you. So let's start with Terry Black.
Thanks, Tony. Good morning, everyone. I'm Terry Black. I am a pre-planning advisor with Dignity Memorial, and I serve and educate people on the benefits of pre-planning your funeral. And this quote, I don't want my kids to have to deal with this. This is what about 99.9% of my clients say to me. That's why they're getting their plan in place. They want to protect their families from emotional and financial burden. And so that's the reason why you want to learn more about funeral pre-planning and get your plan in place. So I'm Terry Black, your pre-planning advisor with Dignity Memorial. Every detail remembered. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Terry. And did you have any BAMs with anybody? Did you ever have a chance to talk to anybody?
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Okay, all right, thanks, Terry. And over to Norm. You're on mute there, buddy. I'm good
So,
at lip reading, but maybe others aren't.
um, so winter is coming,
Good.
right? So one of the things that I do is repair weather stripping around the doors. And I did one the other day where I had to custom make some weather stripping. There's nothing on the market that would have solved the problem. That's just kind of a different problem. So I customized weather stripping to keep his house warm in the wintertime. If you can see light coming around your door, that means cold air is going to come through. And I have this saying, later in the fall, people will call me and I'll tell them, your bad planning doesn't constitute an emergency in my world. If they waited too long and I have to do the weather stripping with gloves on, you're going to be cold this winter because you didn't call me in time, right? So people aren't aware sometimes you need fine motor skills and you can't do it with gloves on. So that's the biggest thing that I need to tell people. Call me now. Don't wait until the cold is coming in because then I may turn you down. So Norm Boy's home maintenance repair. We fix your home. We do the honeydew list. But sometimes your timing has to be good for us to fix your home.
So what's the cutoff date for that, Norm? Like they can they call you up until
Well,
what?
if it's window
November or
replacement, it's the end of this month.
Oh, end of this month.
Yeah, because it takes me 6 to 8 weeks to get windows,
Okay.
patio doors, right?
Okay.
Weather stripping, I mean, I can pick up the weather stripping in a day, right? But the windows, I have to have a long lead time. Glass replacement, generally we can do all year. So it depends on the job whether we'll take it on or not.
Okay. Okay. Any BAMs for this with this
I've
week?
been talking to Eric quite a bit the last few weeks.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And just a quick note that if you can't make it for a meeting, you can call Mike Volotsky. Yeah, Bernie, if you have Mike's phone number and his contact info for if you have a sub, then Mike could come in and sub for you so that you're still represented. It's really good that if you can't make it, or if you're at the cottage, or something happens where you have a deal that you have to go to. That's what this is all about. We don't want you to come here and lose a deal, but that way you can call Mike and then he can sort of sub for you. He did a great job subbing for Terry, I think the other day. So that was great, right? And over to Jacqueline.
Good morning, everyone. And I know you're thinking we only have 2 weeks of summer. And I know when I opened my door, I did inhale, I lifted my shoulders, I took them back, I released them down. And I thought, no, I just need another 2 months of summer. Wouldn't that be great? And I'm seeing more of my clients saying, you know what, can I talk to you in September? Is it that you want to know what Bank of Canada is going to do? Are they going to raise their rates? Are they going to hold the rates? Are they going to decrease their rates? There's a lot of conversation about what Bank of Canada may be doing with the rates. And I know you want to be talking about that while you're doing your barbecuing in your backyard with your friends and family. They may want to have a conversation about mortgages then or not. Is it this or is it that? When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, while barbecuing or not, you want to contact your mortgage honey.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And I think I got your BAMs for last week because you were in there. I think you were there yesterday. Just as a reminder, who else did you talk to, if anybody?
Yeah, well, I had a beautiful conversation with Wendy and one of her clients, and obviously Bernie on Tuesday. And and I'm coming to see you on this Friday.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Okay, and over to Susan. Ebbs.
I always hesitate if it's me or Susan McGarry.
Well, yeah, well, since she's here, I think we're going to go to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Susan Ebbs, and I represent a company called Melaleuca.com. We can help you save money and be more responsible for the environment. I don't know if you've seen the programs where the guys are out collecting bottles on the beaches and they end up with millions and billions of bottles. Well, Melaleuca can help reduce the bottles that you use. Our products are concentrated. I had a question from Wendy this couple weeks ago. Her coffee cups were coming out with stains on them, and she wasn't able to get that off by just running it through the dishwasher. So I checked with Melaleuca, our product line, and they told me that, well, I don't have the actual bottle here, but we have the Diamond Bright dishwasher detergent. There's also a hand washing detergent. So you fill up a bowl with warm water, pour in a couple of drops of the hand washing detergent, let it sit for a few minutes, and then that should get rid of that coffee stain. You know, they're one of the worst stains that you can have is on the bottom of the cup. So Diamond Bright is a good product. There's no chlorine bleach. It's not going to put those chemicals out into the air, causing breathing problems and who knows what else. So Susan Ebbs from Melaleuca.com. I'm meeting with Redmond tomorrow to get some product off to him. I was talking with Wendy. She's an ongoing customer with me. And who else? Norm, well, we met a while ago, so that doesn't count. Penny Lee and I are still having ongoing business. And I think that's everything.
Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Susan. And just a reminder, I mean, sometimes people are always thinking, you know, I can't really give somebody a referral for whatever reason because those things are happening. But realize that the bigger power is in the people that you know. It's not something that you're going to do for another member or whatever if they have anything. But if you hear of somebody that needs their car fixed or needs their windows done or needs some social media or whatever it is that they're needing, it says, I know a guy or I know a gal that could take care of that. And you send that. That still counts as a referral. Even though there's no business, it's all about leads. It's all about getting everybody in the right direction. Or if you know somebody that's looking for probably a home and don't think they could afford it through a mortgage, and he says, well, I have a girl that you can talk to that might be able to have more options than just going to a bank. All right, so always bear that in mind, that it's the people that you know are actually more valuable. We are only one person, but if you know 100 people or 50 people, that's where the power is. Okay, so really, even right now, the group that is right here probably connects to over 5,000 people when you look at all the people that we know and everything else. And so that's sometimes the groups that are smaller have more referrals because they do that. All right, just a quick note there. And also, if we are looking for not only a contractor, because that's been sort of another thing. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago that I had somebody ask that they wanted to do a big job, an addition in their home. And I said, no, we don't have a contractor. So we could sure use one. And I know as great as Norm is, he doesn't do some of the bigger jobs. And not only that, a contractor would be able to give Norm more business, and Norm would be able to give a person more business if it's something bigger. So it is a great, exchange of information and referrals that way. So a contractor, we're also looking for a house cleaner, and the last one was, I believe it was a mover. Somebody that really packs up all of the articles and everything and moves people residentially. I had that one just this week, and so anyway, so if you know somebody, I have them come in. So these are things that people are asking for. So it's almost a slam dunk to give them a referral that way. And over to Kat. What's going on in Scotland, Kat?
Hi, not much at the moment.
That-
So, sorry. So, I am a fractional CMO, so a Chief Marketing Officer. There seems to be some illusion amongst a lot of people that I do social media only. I don't. What I do is I solve problems for people that give them the ability to be seen and to be heard both online and offline. Obviously, the prerequisite is it has to be marketing related. I'm not a salesperson or anything like that. So the problem I solve is that I give people who don't have time to tell their story and be seen and found on or offline, or people who don't know how to do that, or even people that don't have the technical ability to do it, whether it's because it's computer or the ability to write something for a magazine article. I give them the ability to be seen and to be found wherever their audience is at, whether it's online, offline, or anywhere in the world. BAMs, I'm trying to think. I don't know which ones I've told you, Tony, but I had a BAM with you. I've had a BAM with Susan Ebbs. I've dropped Jacqueline and Terry messages to ask if they want BAMs. I had a BAM with Bernie the other week. And Sam and Norm, I might as well. If you guys want to have a BAM, I'm up for having a BAM with you guys as well. I'm going to shut up now.
Perfect. Oh, it's awesome. Okay, thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
And over to Sam. Sam the man.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. If I can get this looking right, there it goes. Got my contact information in the chat. My last report from Port Stanley here till we get back to Ottawa this weekend. Beautiful morning here. I think it went down to 18 degrees last night, a little cooler than it has been. I was looking out at the lake, and there's 4 sailboats out there that's right now sailing away on the beautiful blue lake out there. Enjoying ourselves for our last weekend here before we head back. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. Electronics is my main thing. Dash cameras, backup cameras that I'm trying to arrange for Mike's mother. Also do minor repairs, oil changes, brake jobs, things like that. And well, I'll be doing a brake job, it looks like, for Eric Senego next week. He's got the shimmy when he puts his brake on. That's a typical front rotor problem. Does happen time to time. That's one of the bands I'm going to have next week. Let's see, it's Matt Ledard's father. I got to follow up with that. And I mentioned Mike and Eric Senego. So those are things that are going to be happening. And I got a whole line of customers that I've been putting off until I get back. They've been very nice and delayed their repairs, most of them anyway, till I get back. So that's it for me. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of the vehicle, and a lot more.
Yeah, me
Hey,
too.
thanks a lot, Sam. Just
You
going.
didn't hear me, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And over to Bernie, sir.
Good morning, folks. So I'm going to share something that's was from the East Trade Winds presentation. It's from Cyberhoot, and it's free to individuals. And it's about training you how to spot phishing. And the reason this is better than other platforms, it's a positive reward. In other words, you're not getting it's not like wearing an electroshock collar every time you click on the wrong thing. So it's free to attend. Just follow the link for free individual training. And if you end up doing a purchase because it's going to a business, there's the 20 points off for that. And that kind of brings around to like, well, what do I do? Well, I host events. I talk to people. Well, hey, that's cool. And then I bring those cool people to different venues to have a chat. And in the attendance this week was Tony and Jacqueline, and really appreciative of having you folks there because it's good to see friendly and happy faces like the rest of the faces that show up in that space. That's every Tuesday morning at 8 to 9, and you'll see the link for these trade wins up in the chat. There's a YouTube video for that space also. It's also posted, and the speakers were already up and loaded. There are a couple other speakers that have other things that are available. You just check it out, or have a chat with me, or we have a BAM, and we can go from there. Knack for Business podcast, it's cruising. I think when I'm done, we'll have 400 podcasts from season 3. And doing 7,000 downloads, and it's increasing. In fact, Tony joined that particular space. And if you want to know more about what Jamex does to help promote your podcast, if you're in that space, give me a jingle. I'll walk you through what's happening, and then I'll do an introduction. And that's what I do. And I don't do breaks, but I know who to go see for breaks. So, and in fact, Sam, when are you back, by the way? And in all seriousness.
I am back as of Sunday afternoon. I actually have a client already set up for Sunday after I get back, but I can later in the week possibly help you out there, Bernie.
Perfect. It's the wife's vehicle, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. She did something, and it's now the TLC piece, and it's not bad. It's all good. And that's been the week. So here we have some business coming Sam's way, and Tony, back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Whenever I hear situations like that, it just shows how hard your work is starting to pay off. When people are waiting for you to come back, because they could go to anybody. There's so many insurance people, so many people doing houses, so many people fixing cars, so many people fixing windows, but people will realize the value when they're waiting for you. They're not going anywhere else. They know that the car can go a little longer, and it could wait as long as it's not a 911. But if it could wait, then they'll wait. And that's how you know that things are really good, because you have value. So way to go, Sam, for doing that. That is not an easy thing to set up, and it's not an overnight thing. It's the consistent working day in, day out, year in, year out, and people just know that that's my guy. This is the only person that I want to touch my car. That's wonderful. So way to go, Sam, for that. Just wanted to acknowledge that, because sometimes we forget when things start to slow down. It says, oh, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, your business is just taking a breath. It just now it's a time to do any constructive stuff or any creative stuff. You want to learn more about other parts of the car, like maybe how to change the oil in your transmission. Some cars you have to use a special tool to draw that fluid out or something. That might be another service when it is really quiet. You can't do it when you're plugged up and like that. So there you go. So I wanted to mention a little bit, because I was presenting today. Kat said, "You're presenting." I says, "Okay." This comes at a really, really incredible time, because right at this moment, you heard that I was talking about the Lionsgate Energy, or the Lionsgate portal, for last week. And this is on August the 8th. So it's the 8th month of the 8th day. Every August 8th that has ever been, there's an additional stream of light. It's like a portal in the sense that everything aligns to such a degree that it's an energy that comes onto this planet to bring more awareness of who you are, bring more awareness of why you're here. And over the last many decades, it's just been this energy that comes in. Now, when a person is very sensitive, they'll feel this, but the vast number of people will not. But they also don't feel what happens in a full moon. You know, when they say the full moons, the crime goes up because there's more domestic disputes. There's more things that are happening to people and they don't understand why. Well, it's the full moon. But that's incredibly strong, and some people don't think it's a thing, all right? But when we look at Lionsgate, it is all about bringing your individuality to a point where you start realizing that the most important thing is love. The most important thing is forgiving. The most important thing is to move on in peace. And so many people just seem to pick the scabs off of all kinds of topics just so they can look at it. You know, when somebody cuts you off, you know, they'll be talking about that for a week. And I had that the other day. I says, they cut you off last week and you're thinking about it. It's still in your energy. So that just means, and it tells me that their energy is so saturated with all kinds of gobbledygook. You know, there's good stuff in there. There's not so good stuff in there. There's horrible stuff in there. And it's just, you know, like what would happen if you made a smoothie? You know, you put your chocolate powder in, you put your pineapples, onions, carrots, and then just blend it all together. It might not taste the best, all right? So the thing is, there's got to be somewhere in there that you're going to be able to discern what you're going to allow that you're going to live with. There are some things that need your attention. Absolutely. When it comes to family, that's number one. But number two should be you. You should be number one anyway, but when you're looking at what is more important to your family, your attention goes to there, but you're always number one in the energetic point, so that sometimes there are drama that happens within families. And we hang on to those things that were said 10 years ago. You know, there's still animosity between the two. And some people will not speak to another family member for some of the oddest reasons. I remember one session that I did about 3 months ago where I actually asked the person, and that's what they said. We haven't spoken in 12 years. I says, okay, do you remember what you fought about? No, not really. Right? They don't even remember what happened. Oh, yeah, it was something to do with a bottle. A what? A bottle. This happened. It was a family thing, this one. And what do you mean with the bottle? Well, there's this bottle that I think one of the European companies make, and it has a clasp. So there's a little steel stem, and there's a cork on the top, and you sort of lock it at the top, you know, much like you can make maple syrup and stuff. So it's a special bottle. Okay. Well, I remembered that two of my sisters got one from this one person, but I didn't get my bottle. Okay. And so I thought that was rude, and I haven't spoke to them for 12 years. Really? Because of a bottle? He says, yeah, because I was excluded. I says, okay, there's something deeper here. And as we started talking, there was. And then you realize that the bottle was the straw that broke camel's back, as they say. And it's usually something like, I was always outside, even when I was a kid. In other words, I was never included with games. I was never included with the ball team. I was never included, and it goes on and on. So it was a pattern. And so as these patterns go up and you don't do anything about it, you just let it go. In other words, you just let it, you don't address it. It's just there. It's just like if your dog does his business on your living room and you look at it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that horrible? But it sits there for 12 years. Right? That's kind of the analogy. Now, the only thing that we do something because it's so annoying that we clean it up. But this is the thing about energy that people don't understand, that when you take something small, like in that case of you know, someone didn't think about you, and you hold on to that, that means that's something that is actually annoying you. It doesn't do anything to the person that might have forgotten, oh yeah, I got to send one to John, or I got to send one to Joan or something. If that all they had was 3, then that's fine. But you got to realize what you're holding on to that is actually holding you back. That type of things. And then when you look deeper, when they say, well, I was trying to apply for a job but didn't get it, another evidence that I'm not number one. It says, okay, because in my world, when you apply for a job and you don't get it, it means there's something better coming. So what is your biggest thing that you are thinking? You said, no, it means I lost a job. Okay, you see, the same situation happens, but the reaction is different between two people. I'm not saying mine is better. I'm just saying that everything that I look at, it means there's something better coming. I always expect the best and always end up getting it in some way. Sometimes I have to wait longer, but I always end up getting it. You know, I want to be part of the best team ever, and then it's attracted to me, and it's not a surprise. Some people are surprised when they finally meet their soulmate. He says, oh, wow, what? Okay, now the other shoe's going to drop and they're going to end up leaving. Well, I never think of that, but people think about that all the time. So the Lion's Gate, what it does is when this energy comes in, it softens all of those old patterns, and it does it every year. Now, in 2025, this particular light and this particular energy has been the strongest energy in our human existence. It's never been as strong as it is of last August the 8th. Now, because it goes in multiples of 8, so it's the 8th month of the 8th day, that means 8 days before the event, so that's August, well, it's not even August 1st, it would be from August 1st to August 8th, around those 8 days, and 8 days after. So we are still in that energy until August the 16th, all right? Yesterday, August the 13th, was another energy that came in, and it had everything to do with identity. And it's not identity of, you know, who you are, what you do, you know, you're a contractor, you're a mechanic. That's the labels that's what you do. That's not who you are. Who you are is what makes everything great. But the identity goes a lot deeper, because when people say, why am I here? What is the significance of me? Like, there's got to be a purpose, right? People say that. That's one of the biggest questions is, who am I? Why am I here? And that energy brought in the ancestral energy, and it's very powerful. Does anybody know what the Akashic records mean? Have you ever heard of that? Akashic records? Okay. Give you an idea. In every lifetime, your essence, your soul, so to speak, goes into a body every time it goes into existence. In other words, you've been around on this earth for thousands of years and going into human vessels every time that body is birthed and then demises. The body does. And then the soul, the essence of you, learns something, or should learn something. If it doesn't learn anything, it says, okay, and this is very, very common. So let's say your previous life, your previous experience on earth, it was wonderful. Everything was given to you. When on your 16th birthday, you were given a car, or going back in time, you were given a chariot or something, okay? And then something happened and it broke, and then you got another one. So in other words, money was never an issue. And you always treated people so candidly, so flippantly, because everything is given to you, and that it brings in and it breeds in a level of being entitled. You think that the whole world, every time you talk, everyone's going to listen. And that if you do have power and you do have money, they will to a point. But then you go through that life and you don't really learn anything. You don't go through any struggles. You didn't have to go to the supermarket or go get food, not realizing you don't have enough money, and then you have to put back some food because you only had $20 to spend on whatever it is. And so some things have to go back. Usually you keep the stuff you're going to buy for your kids, and something that you like would have to go. They never had to do that, all right? So after that life, you come back to the Creator in the sense, and 3 questions are asked. Did you live enough? Did you love? And do you want to go back? Those are the three questions are asked. And you say, what have you learned? Nothing. Yeah, like your soul doesn't grow when there's no struggle, ever. It doesn't grow. There's no need to, because everything is given to you in physical form. So there's no need to tap into something deeper to get out of a situation. All you have to call is your parents, or all you have to call is your trust fund, or whatever it is that made it so that you don't have to go through anything, right? And then your request is, I want to be able to really grow my soul. I want to really be able to learn on this next one. Okay, so they're going to give you struggle. And then as a child, when you're coming in, you're selecting the parents that'll give you the highest learning capacity ever. And so we'll usually choose a couple or a family member that will give you, that they won't pay attention to you. They won't be sending you a bottle. They won't be sending you anything. You'll be on your own. You might be homeless at 14. You might not have any money for a long time. And so when you come into that soul, all of a sudden there are now struggles, but you're not used to it. And you're frustrated, and you're saying, why me? Why did you put me? Why did I sign up for this? That's because you did, because it's the highest way your soul grows. So all of this is recorded in the Akashic records. Every life you have ever lived is recorded, your whole life, in these sort of virtual records. Some of you have come back 50, 75, over 100 times on this earth. Some people only come on this earth just a few times. So when people say that you're an old soul, it doesn't mean you're older. It just means that you've come into this earth more times than ever, because we're not all from this earth. We are from other earths, other planets, that we come to this very difficult university, because the earth is looked upon as a very, let's just say, a primitive society, where we use prejudice and we use guilt and we use control to control other people. Where in other planets, it's all about love, it's all about togetherness, it's all about unity, and everything is free. They wanted to sort of accentuate that. Why is everything free? Well, because the farmer that grows the crops for food, he could just makes it available to anyone. So if he needs a tractor, he gets a tractor for free. Then you get the fuel for free. You can go anywhere and it's free. What this does is, number one, it totally eliminates burglary. Why would you steal something if you get yours for free? Number one. And then, so these societies and it's all about love, and there are no cities. There are small villages everywhere on this planet, and they're all respecting the environment. And we do the exact opposite as a human race. We want to be able to capitalize and control and take over everything. So it's considered a relatively primitive society. So we know this coming in, and that's also recorded on these records that, hey, you were on Earth, 8 times or 20 times or whatever. So if you're on here for anything more than 40 times, let's say, you're considered an old soul, meaning you're coming into this earth again and again and again to be able to try to help those souls to be able to elevate themselves so they can now feel the love while in physical form. So of course you're going to get the people that will cut you off because they want to see how you're going to react. Of course you're going to get those situations that you're going to be in line, realize you don't have money for something. How are you going to react? You could react in anger, absolutely. Or you could react as saying, oh, it's okay, I didn't need that ice cream anyway. Okay? So, and these are all recorded, realizing that that's the point that your soul, your essence is growing. So when people get struggle, they always say, why me? Why did I get struggled? Rather than saying, this is making me grow. What is the solution? What do I need to do? People rarely ask that. They always blame other people for their misfortune, saying that, oh, my neighbor has so much money, like I can't get money. And if you've had a very advantageful life in the previous life where everything was given to you, you'll have the essence in your DNA that you're abundant. Does that make sense? Okay, you'll feel that you're rich because you were. But in this life, it's like, I feel I'm rich, but I can't prove it. And that's because the money is simply a report card for the way your energy allows money to come in. Because if you were to take money, let's say, and turn that into a person, so money is, let's say, a person in front of you, and ask that person, why don't you come visit me more often? Do you feel welcome when you come into my home? And what ends up happening when we get money? Oh, thank God, now I can pay a bill. God, I don't have enough. So in other words, they've come to you and it's not enough. So it always ends up by giving them you money, and it ends up you being disappointed because there's not enough. How many people, when they're walking along a sidewalk, look down and there's a dime or a nickel, and they're saying, oh, even if you're conscious enough that somebody left that something for you, the first thing you're going to say is, oh, well, thank you very much, but a nickel doesn't nearly cover my bills. Rather than looking at it as a sign that, hey, if it's a nickel, 5 represents massive change in money. So more money is coming. So thank you so much for the nickel. But very few people look at it upon that. They look at it as, oh, that's not enough, thinking that there's a bag of money that you're supposed to trip over that's going to physically be able to bring in more. And it doesn't work that way. It's all about your reaction. Do you see? So all of these are recorded in an Akashic record of how you are reacting and how you are looking at things. So everything is, it's not so much a test. It's always about how you're reacting and your consciousness level when you look at something. If somebody says to you that I'm breaking up with you, now all of a sudden it comes back to you, oh, I've been rejected. I can't hold a girlfriend or I can't hold a boyfriend for the life of me. Rather than saying, oh, thank God, maybe there's something better coming. In other words, they don't want to be with me, that's okay. I don't want to force somebody to be with me. If they don't see my value, that's okay. Because not everybody sees a diamond in the rough. Not everybody can see the gold bullion underneath the pile of garbage. But I know something's there, and people will feel it. And then when people see your value, then those are the people that are going to be attracted to you. So when all these are in the Akashic records, the thing is, when these records are in your awareness, and that's what happened yesterday, on August the 13th, this Akashic record energy flooded the planet. It is at its height, and it's going to last for the next 2 days. So it was the 13th, 14th, and 15th, so it'll go until tomorrow. And this is all about knowing who you are. Now, here's some of the signs when you finally get to that point that this light or this energy has gone through you. You'll feel disoriented, meaning that you'll walk into a room and wonder, oh, okay, there's something I was supposed to come and get here, and I don't know why I'm now in the second bedroom. Or if you're all of a sudden you feel disoriented in a supermarket where you've been to the same supermarket for years and years, and you know where the ham is, you know where the produce is, then all of a sudden you feel, okay, where am I? That sort of disoriented energy. That's because that energy has just downloaded a bunch of stuff about your identity, and you have never been there. So it's in uncharted territory that you're feeling this sense of identity. Okay, that's one way. Another one is if you feel totally exhausted at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock. You feel like, oh my God, like what's going on with me? I had a really good sleep, and then I feel like I'm really tired in the middle of the afternoon. So this might spur on naps. Like, don't be underestimating the power of the nappy. Okay, it's very powerful because right now we're all being upgraded in a very gentle, silent way, but most people won't know what it is. But these are some of the signs. The people that are sensitive, they know what it is. Like at the level of energy that I am at, I know what they are. But I also get tired. I also get to a point where I'm disoriented. But what a lot of people do is, oh, I'm in a room. Why am I here? Oh, I guess it's old age. Yeah, you can't say that because you're taking something that's upgrading you, that's actually trying to make you younger. And when something comes out of your mouth, that is like God talking. And then when you say, I'm getting older, then you are. It is actually, you are speaking your own future. So be careful when you are judging yourself that all these things are happening, and it's just like that. So age has nothing to do with memory, by the way, but that's the way it's attributed. Because there are a lot of people that are in their 80s and 90s, and they are really like so honed in their energy. They know everything that happened over the last several years, and so on. All right. So memory and age is not coordinated unless you tie them together. You're saying, "Oh, my memory's not great." Yeah, you tie it because I'm older. Anything over 60, you're done. Okay. You've got to stop talking that way because you are tying in the old age with it. And again, all of this energy and the way the consciousness goes is recorded in the Akashic records. Okay. I'm just going to conclude here. We're just coming close to the top of the hour. And all we're saying is that I have the Lionsgate sound bath that I've recorded, and it's still on my Facebook page. We recorded that because on Lionsgate on the 8th, I was told to do a sound bath on the 8 o'clock that evening. And we had about, Kat did a fantastic job. I told her I'm supposed to do this. It's 11:30 in the afternoon. I'm supposed to do an event that day at 8 o'clock, and 24 people showed up. So that's how good she is. But the thing is, when we look at just getting people together, we recorded that, and it was 64 minutes long, 8 times 8, okay? And so if you could listen to that somewhere between today or tomorrow, that will activate various energies in you to upgrade you in various ways. Your DNA is going to start opening up. In other words, it's going to start some areas that are dormant. It's been dormant for years. It's going to start lighting up. That's how powerful that was. Okay. So, and if you could just say to yourself that things are the way they are because it's all trying to help me. It's all making me stronger in some way. Okay. So let's see if we can do that and be able to be at a point where nothing can bring you down and everything is there for your reaction, and everything is there to make you better and make you more of a loving person. Okay. So any questions about that? I know I spread a lot of stuff on you, okay, but all I can say is that if you go to my Facebook page and just scroll down a couple of meetings that we have, and you'll see that they're Lionsgate sound bath, and just put your earbuds on and just listen. You don't have to do anything. The sound and the frequencies and the energy does all the work. You literally don't have to do anything. Just listen, okay? I also have it on my YouTube channel as well, on raising your spirits with Tony, and hopefully this will help you in some way. We're all here to try and ascend and trying to get to a higher vibration in some way. Okay. And Bernie, do you have a quote for the end of our meeting here?
You are not wrong if no one knows what you are doing. Unknown.
Okay. Okay, guys, have yourself a great weekend. Okay, those of you that can make it for the next meeting, the midday at 1 o'clock, you're welcome to come in. All right, it's an open forum. We could have 2 realtors. Don't care. It's all open. There's no rules. Okay, hats off, and we just see who can we meet, and hopefully we'll have some new people. And that's the whole idea. We created this group to make it so you would have more people to market to. The more people we have, the more referrals that we're going to have. I remember when we were at 100 members, we had 3 times the referrals that we're doing now. And isn't it interesting that we're at about 33, 34 people, and 100 is exactly 3 times the number. So the referrals are going to be in the same ratio. All right. More referrals mean people get excited, mean people can't wait to come into our group. Okay. So bring people in, because it's you're helping yourself and you're helping others just by inviting somebody, which will cost you nothing, and you'll end up with a $25 gift certificate for gas. Okay. All right, guys. So have a good weekend, and drive safely, and we'll see you next week. Okay.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay.
Thank
Love you
you.
all.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Jacqueline?
Take care, Sam.
Ciao.
Jacqueline, before you peel out, is that that 2-minute video you did on LinkedIn? That when you did that live stream, was that like a 2-minute
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Okay. Do I have your permission to see if I can extract it and see if I can flip it back to you?
Of course.
Yeah, and just making
You're,
sure.
you're Bernie.
Look
You're
at
Bernie.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm asking first.
Oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
nothing. I will send it back to you. What I will do, and I just checked on with Chat GPT, going, how do you extract it? Well, you have to get permission first. Yeah, okay. But you can download the file. You yourself can download that file, because it's hang on.
Yeah,
But I
worst
did on
come to
LinkedIn.
worst, Bernie, the other way, if you can't download it, or if it doesn't work, what I've done is I've gone on to Zoom, put it on record, go to the stream, and just play it, and it'll play while you've doing the share and the recording,
Okay.
and then you have the file.
So
That's-
if check the chat, go to your profile, open the post, click the 3 dots at the top right corner of the post. Look for download options. If it's
Okay,
not there, you'll
good.
need to. If you'll need to download it from the original file. You don't have that, so it's a live stream. Let me know. If not, what I'll do, and then because when you do something like that, having the subtitles, because a lot of people won't have the sound on because of where they're at, but having subtitles. And let me
Oh.
just spin the dial, and I'll try.